What is everybody? Welcome back to the Hot Zone podcast with your host xLSxgaming, and today we have our co-star for this episode, SirHamsAlots over on Twitch. Make sure you guys go check him out. I have his links all down below, so make sure you go check that out. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Black Ops 6, zombies, multiplayer, story, all the type of juicy stuff. So, are you ready, Hams, for this fine episode?
I'm ready. Oh yeah.
All right.
For sure.
So I think the first thing that everyone wants to kind of know is what made you get into Call of Duty?
What made me get into Call of Duty? I started Call of Duty probably back in Black Ops 2, Ghost kind of area. I don't know. My family has really been into the gaming, and it kind of just I got addicted to. If I didn't like it, it was just kept pulling me back. So I kind of just stuck on the Call of Duty ride up until.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, like, I don't know. For me, Call of Duty's always been that consistent thing for that's like it's like the best friend that's consistent is the best way I could put it. Like it's either always ass or it's always great, and it's like you can count on it being
Right.
that every single year. And I think, especially in today's world, everything's moving around so much that it can kind of help out. All right, so I think the biggest thing that me and you have both got to do now is play zombies. I know we haven't really played that much of the multiplayer, and I know you haven't touched the story quite yet. So, what are your first impressions of zombies so far in this game's life cycle?
Straight up, right out of zombies, going from MW open map zombies to R's, and the graphics feel like a little different. Movement kind of put me off right away. It took a little bit, but I feel like it's a good. We're back to the round based zombies. I feel like a lot of people that all this like these cool Easter. Yeah, I feel like they off good on the.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I felt like I feel like Bo6 Zombies has been kind of refreshing because it's kind of like a hybrid between the pre outbreak era and the outbreak era prior that we've had now. Because like Black Ops 6 has some of the features that like Cold War and Modern Warfare 3 have with the armor systems, the perk systems, how they work. Well, we got the augments. And then we have the old school style as well. We have the round base, the small maps, the more heavy focus on the Easter eggs instead of just spawning in and doing a mission and then exfilling. But
Right.
I am
Yeah.
interested to see how the maps go on because I'm wondering if they're going to be able to keep up the high quality maps because they said about maybe 1 to 2 maps a season, and so I'm very interested to see if they're going to be able to
Okay.
keep
Yeah.
up with that high quality throughout the whole season.
Right. Yeah. Because like with MW3, it was just kept adding ether portals to like add on it. So it's gonna have to be like kind of like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2, how they did out the maps and continue the story. I guess.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
because
but
Modern Warfare 3 story
they
was awful in the grand scheme of things. Like
yeah,
that
it was
hype
not
up
it
was
was not that
crazy
great.
and then kind of fell flat.
A little
All right.
disappointed. So I feel like a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people. I
MW3
mean,
had huge shoes
I
to
want to
fill.
get right. Yeah, yeah. I want to get my hopes up, but they kind of bummed me out a little bit doing the MW3, so I'm not sure exactly what to expect with the Bo6, but so far so good. So I
Much
just
better
hope they keep it up.
now off launch than we have for Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, if I remember
Right.
correctly, I don't think we got a new story mission for Modern Warfare 3 Zombies until like season 1 or 2 or something. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, at least we're supposed to be getting a new map within the next couple of weeks, whenever the new season drops.
Okay, damn, I didn't even hear about that yet. Yeah, so
Yeah, because they said we're getting a new map before the before the end of this year, and so the first season starts. I think they said November 14th is the rumor it starts. So somewhere right around there is when we'll see the new map. Um, so favorite guns so far. I don't know if you. I know you haven't really used that many guns, but is there
I
anything that's sticking out?
haven't I haven't really used a whole lot of guns. I'm actually pretty partial to the XM4 is a really good gun in my opinion.
Fucking
I
bot.
feel like
Default gun.
Yes, the default gun. I think it's really good. I've been able to take out a lot of people, especially even if they have the drop on me. I can flip around, and it's really about movement, though. The gun, in my opinion, doesn't really matter too much. Kind of how you get your movement down in this game. But yeah, I feel like the XM4. I did try out the Jackal PDW is still okay. It's definitely not like god tier like it was during the beta.
Thank God.
But yeah, exactly. Jesus, you could just like snipe someone across map with the freaking Jackal. It was insane. But yeah, XM4, the Jackal PDW, and then I actually really like the 9mm PM pistol. I think that's one of my favorites actually. I thought I was really gonna hate pistols because how they worked at the beta, they're really bad. But once you start unlocking those attachments, playing like zombies, just to rank up a little bit, once you throw those attachments on there, it gets a whole lot better in my opinion, and you can crack off on players.
Yeah, I'd say for me right now, I think it's probably the Amos. It's probably my favorite assault rifle, or just gun in the game. Period. At the moment, it was weird because I hated the Amos in the beta because we had the Amos in the beta. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was kind of like a shittier version of a Galil. But it seems in this game, at
Okay.
least for zombies currently, it feels really, really strong and really, really reliable. That and the AK are also very, very good. I feel like the AK is going to be a dominant gun come Warzone as well, because it has really just solid stats just in general. Its stats are really just solid. Um, but I'm excited to see how the SMG category will grow this season and in future seasons going
Right.
forward. Because it feels like the SMGs are really, really strong right now, and I feel like that knowing Treyarch's past history, I have a feeling they're probably going to make them even stronger before they end up getting nerfed eventually. So I'm very interested to see which SMGs will be the first to be buffed. I'm assuming probably the Compact 92. That seems to be the most likely candidate for a buff, but um, depends if people want the Jackal buffed again. That also comes down to it. If people really want that Jackal to be strong again, um, it's
Right now
very
they got a taste
possible
of
that
what it
that'll get
was
buffed.
in the beta there, yeah.
I mean, the Jackal was just it was so devastating in the beta. Like I don't even know how the beta version of that gun even existed in the first place. Like there was just no playtest there whatsoever.
And
Um,
you were talking about the Ames 85 being a pretty good gun to start off with, and then like I don't know if it's unlocked right away. I think you got is that one of the three that's unlocked right away? The
if
Ames
you vault,
85, do you know?
yes, yeah, if you vault, you get
Okay,
it instantaneously
okay, yeah.
because it has
Because
that
I had the
blueprint.
vault, so like for all the people that got Vault Edition, you instantly get the what 5 attachments on it, so you could easily level that up, and you have instant. I feel like upper hand on anyone else that just started with the Ames 85, because then you got those 5 attachments on there with the grenade launcher on the bottom too for farther range.
Yeah, and anyone also to add on to that, anyone who has that's watching this that has Vault that doesn't know already, which is probably pretty rare. I feel like everyone knows at this point, but if you don't, you have a select handful of weapons that you have access to, and you will have access to them for forever, no matter how many times you prestige or whatever happens, as long as you're on that account with the Vault Edition. And that is, you have access to the Ames, which is the Ames Plague Doctor, which is the Vault Edition version of the Ames, which is a permanent unlock. So any blueprints that you get from the Battle Pass store or Vault are now permanently unlocked from prestiging, which means you don't have to waste a permanent unlock token for them. So that's really nice. You also have the Jackal as another variant with the Jackal Scourge. You have the Marine Unrepentant. You have the What is the other one? The Mars. It's the what? The sniper, I think it is. Yeah, the sniper, the LR762. I think it's the Rainstorm, and then you have a knife as well. So tons of weapons there if you're looking to get things permanently unlocked. As just a kind of a heads up to anyone that's getting into BO6 in the coming days. Let's see. What is How are you feeling with the camo grind? Because I have some interesting takes with this camo grind.
Uh, I feel like the zombies with the headshots, I feel like isn't too bad. You could easily grind up some headshots with zombies. It will take a hot minute. Once you get the groove down, though, it's pretty easy. Just waste a few hours and bam, you got gold like that. Now in multiplayer, I feel like it's a different thing entirely. I feel like the grind will be a little longer in multiplayer for the headshots, unless like you're god tier and you're just hitting 25 headshots a game. But that one's gonna take a little long. I do like that they did go with the headshots. You don't have to hit max level with your gun in order to unlock all the camos. That's really nice. You can just go right off the bat. So I feel like it's not bad, not bad right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that for the most part. I mean, like I think the biggest thing, I think the biggest W this game could have taken was the idea of adding no weapon levels for camos. I think that was just an excellent decision on their part. Um, Now, I think where the problem lies is this idea of adding military camos in the first place. Because the last 2 years, we've had an amazing camo system where it's 4 camos per gun, then you have the 4 masteries, and then you could work on the Grand Mastery. And I think that was a perfect system because it was just enough camos to where it wasn't too fast to get camos. Especially on the early stages of the grind. Obviously, if you had Interstellar or Orion going into a season or something, then obviously you would get those 2 DLC weapons, 4 DLC weapons extremely fast. Sometimes I would get a DLC gun within the first 2 or 3 hours of the game of the gun dropping. But I think what hurts this game in the long term is going to be the amount of camos on which they can add this time around. I think they're focusing way too much on those military camos, and I think that we're going to see a lot less unique camos going forward. Like, remember, Modern Warfare 3 had some insane camos you could get when you did, like, the 4 challenges. I think the last season, we got a bunch of animated camos for the 4 challenges as a reward. And I don't see that being as a possibility as much in this grind, simply for the pure fact they're only having 2 special camos per gun. And the military camos seem to be all the same. I could be wrong, but I think they're all the same for all the guns, like the way what they look like, and so it kind of ruins the one to grind because we've gotten used to the whole universal camo system, which was what we had the last 2 years. But I don't know. And then obviously the snipers in multiplayer and in zombies being 2,000 headshots on multi and zombies, and then over 100 headshots in multiplayer, I think is hideous. It is a hideous challenge, especially since 2 of the 3 snipers are bolt actions. I think that's dumb. I know I said yesterday, Hams, that I thought it was one shots. I don't know where I saw that, but then I checked on my game last night, and it was
Not one
It's
shots.
headshots.
I could have swore it.
I thought so too, because I could have sworn I was watching someone live playing the game, grinding snipers, and they were saying it's one shots. And then I loaded in and checked, and it's still
Oh
headshots.
yeah, it's headshots. Yeah, it's
So,
headshots.
I mean, 50 headshots, 20 headshots, that would have been fine. But I'm saying 100 headshots per multiplayer per sniper, and then 2,000 headshots for snipers and zombies is a rough. It's rough. Obviously, there's people out there that will say, "Oh, you're just complaining to complain. It's not that bad," and I'm sure it is not that bad when you have low SPMM. But I think with having high SPMM, making challenges that make me not want to do them is not really going to be healthy for your game in the long run. Because I'm not the only one that has to feel this way. I know there has to be other people out there that are just having a rough time wanting to grind snipers, knowing they're gonna have to sit there and hardscope with a bolt action and hope to God to hit a headshot, let alone hit 100 of
Right.
them. So overall, I think it's a W, but I am definitely hoping that going forward, they either decide to switch the DLC snipers to one shots, or maybe not add so many snipers this year, because I really don't have to grind them. But um, but yeah, I mean, BO6 has been fun in my personal opinion. I think there's some concerns that I have with this game, um, but I'm trying to give the game the benefit of the doubt because it is early. I gave Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Vanguard, Cold War. I gave all those games the benefit of the doubt when they were early. Some of them let me down, some of them didn't. So I'm hoping that Treyarch will nail the head this time. I haven't been a fan of Treyarch since BO3. I think BO4 and Cold War were complete utter disasters for Treyarch, but we'll have to wait and see how this game is handled. So far, it's great. We have the class of prestige back. We have no weapon level requirements for camos. We have, which I believe is the first time in COD history that you don't need to have weapon levels now for camos.
Right.
Unless it was
Yeah.
maybe, I can't remember if pre 2019 CODs required weapon levels. I don't think they did. But even so, those guns only usually went up to like level 12 or something, so it really wasn't like all that big of a
Right, not
deal.
like level 44 and such that they are now.
Um, what is your take on the new store bundle, the COD Endowment bundle? I don't know if you looked at it yet.
The store bundle? I haven't even looked at it yet. So,
You
okay,
should.
what is it?
It's
The
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 $20 COD bundle.
endowment? Is that
Yep.
what that?
I
Look at
saw
it
it
here
the other
real
day
quick.
and I thought it was it's a cool bundle. And I'm happy that the
I kind of like the
proceeds.
camos.
I'm kind of
Those
proud.
look
Well,
kind of good.
they're blueprints. They're not the camos, man. All right.
Oh, are they
We don't get
blueprints?
camos
My
and
bad.
bundles. We're not that cool, right? We don't get camos and
The
bundles.
blueprints, yes, the blueprints look kind of
Um,
kind of
it's
fire.
it's fire. I think, and I think it's great that the $20 proceeds go to veterans, but there is a part of me that is kind of bitter that it's gone up in price from what it used to be back in the day of $5 for a bundle to now $20 for
Right,
the
to
bundle.
$20. That's insane.
I mean, it's a good cause, but a cause that I could just go out and buy a veteran a hamburger and it'd be cheaper and it would still help them. So it's
Right.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I know you haven't played the
Uh,
campaign, so I won't talk too much about it. But I will say that the campaign was crazy. The BO6 campaign is getting a lot of hate for some obvious reasons, but I think some also not so obvious reasons. Um, it's obviously really, really short. For 4 years of development, this game has an extremely short campaign. So short, in fact, that I think I will have the entire campaign uploaded on YouTube, 40-minute videos each, and I will be under 10 videos,
damn.
which is really, really short. I think it's like, I don't think I'll be at like 9 videos or
That
something, or
is,
8 videos.
yeah, that is short.
So it's only like 3.5 hours at the most. Now, obviously, if you do every single, there is one mission that's like open world mission where you're like in the desert of I think it's Iraq, and you can like do a bunch of little like challenges around the map and do different things. That obviously could add maybe an hour of extra of time on your game, but not a whole lot. The mission that I think a lot of people watching this will understand where I'm coming from. The mission with all the hallucinations. So basically, you fight zombies and shit. Like you fight abominations in that mission and manglers. Is odd, unneeded. Probably is a better way to say it. It's not needed, but um, Treyarch has
They're
always
just trying to
been
sneak in the zombies there.
right. Yeah, I
Behind the
mean
war
Treyarch's
pack.
always been the guy, the team that's always been a little more the cuckoo guys. That I mean Black Ops, what was it, 1? Mason was tripping balls like 90% of the campaign. So like,
Yes, yes.
I mean, it's not. This is. I remember when I said at the end of my campaign playthrough, and make sure you guys watch that when it's uploaded. But at the end of the video, I did a little like campaign review, and I mentioned this too, that this is the most Black Ops feeling campaign that we have had in recent years. And I think that really says a lot about this game's campaign. Is it feels so much like Black Ops 1 and 2, and I don't think people realize that because it's been so long since those games have came out, and so a lot of people playing this campaign are like, "Oh my god, dude! There's like armor and stuff, and there's like hallucinations and stuff." It's like, bro, have you not played Black Ops 2 and 1? Like, dudes were tripping balls. All right, like this is Black Ops. Black Ops has always been like a mind twister of a Call of Duty. Like Modern Warfare is like the straightforward military, you know, tact force guys, and then you got the Sledgehammer games always does the niche stories like you had in World War II. You had the story following a specific unit in World War II, and then in Vanguard again you had a specialized unit in World War II again. Advanced Warfare, you followed a guy trying to take down a corrupt military group, and so they're very kind of their own niche. And then Treyarch has always been the team. It's always been like more brain fuckery, more brain hallucination. So I don't really get the whole complaint. It's not the best campaign by any means. In terms of actual
Right. You can
mission
definitely tell they
content,
tried though,
yeah, I mean Cold
compared
War
to
had a
some
way
other.
better gameplay experience, I will say, than this game. But story wise, this is much better. But with that being said, is there anything that you're wanting, like guns, maps, anything that you want that you think this game doesn't have it should have?
Like, um, I don't. I'm kind of partial to most of the maps right now. I mean, there's like a good one here and there, but I feel I haven't like met my perfect map yet. I feel like it's either they're like crazy small and I'm getting shot right out of my spawn, or they seem just too big to like you're running around the map 90% of the time trying to find somebody and then they're camping in the corner and they kill you. Um, but yeah, I'm just kind of looking out for that perfect map. But we're still also game just launched, so I'm not gonna be down too hard on that. Obviously, there's gonna be more maps and stuff coming. So
Is there any
yeah, I'm
ideas
I'm
for
kind of I'm
maps
kind of
that
looking
you
out for that.
want? Like I know like we're talking about the maps that are in the game, but is there anything like is there um any ideas? Because remember, this takes place in the Gulf War, so the 80s, 90s, 70s, that era. So, is there any like era related things that you would like to see maybe in a map, like maybe an 80s movie theater or something, or a 90s movie theater or something? Um, like think of it like this: like, if Treyarch was watching this and you could give them a list of items that you would like to see in this game. What are some things that you would like to see them add going in the future?
I don't know, that movie theater idea actually sounds pretty good. Like if it was like I'm not talking like indoor movie theater. I'm talking like drive-in outdoor movie theater. Um, Obviously have some buildings in there. What's that? What's the? I can't remember what they had this in. I think it was in World War II and it was in Advanced, but it was like it was a smaller map. It was like a paintball map almost. It was like a paintball course, and you'd run around on this paintball course. I kind of want something like as far as like that for objects and such to hide behind. It's not like crazy. You can't just sit up and camp there. Obviously, someone can hit you in the corner easily. Uh, but it's not like you don't have to straight up push people, but there won't be camping. It's a smaller map, and then you can get that older style with the outdoor movie theater. Have some cars out there, have like a movie play in the background, whether or it just be static, whatever. Uh, I feel like that would be cool idea.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't want them to. I think the biggest problem COD's been having an issue recently is it's just like to remaster everything. Like that's like their creativity
Right.
is gone down a lot in the recent years. They've been so
We
focused
need we
on
need some freshies, I
remaking.
feel like.
So I'd like them to go crazy. I don't need this game to be ultra realistic in the multiplayer. Like it's multiplayer. It's never gonna be realistic. So go crazy with it. Like the thing you're talking about on Advanced Warfare. I don't know about the other one, but Advanced Warfare had I don't remember having a paintball map specifically, but they had the paintball settings, so you could like change your like basically every you had tracers for everything in the game pretty much. Um, that was like the OG tracers back in Sledgehammer Games' Advanced Warfare, and that was one of my favorite features because it was such a simple feature, but it was such a unique feature that it made it worthwhile. So I would actually like to see them bring back um, the
I
paintball feature. Now that I'm thinking about,
I
there is a
actually I just looked up the paintball map because I couldn't figure out what it was. It's called the Rush, and it's actually from Black Ops 2. Um, so even then, they could kind of take an idea from, because I know they're doing a lot. They're not making like huge, like great, like new maps. They're taking from old. Definitely something they could do. Take kind of from that old map BO2 and kind of revamp it a little bit in BO6. But yeah, that's the old Rush map.
yeah, wasn't there I think there was also a paintball map in Cold War, if I remember correctly, as well. Or it was like an airsoft map or something. It was like one of those like real life arena style maps, but it was real small. I can't remember what it's called, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think there was one of those maps on Cold War as well.
Yes,
Um,
so the one in Cold War is also a revamp of the Rush from original Black Ops 2.
got you. That makes more sense.
Yep, yep, yep.
In terms of weapons, this is something I've been thinking about a lot recently because I'm always thinking about different weapons they could add. Um, and the 90s and this whole era, this whole time period this game takes place in, is such an interesting era for weaponry because you're still in the era where you have the old weaponry, but you're now entering the stages of the modern technology that you see. Um, Obviously, the XM4 is a version of the M4 assault rifle that will come to tuition over the next couple of years in the early 2000s. But I would like to see them bring back maybe the M16, the OG Vietnam era M16 with the triangle handguard. Um, some of the old Soviet weaponry like the SKS, the
Right,
Mosin
yeah, yeah.
Nagant would fit well in this game because the Mosin Nagant still it was a hugely popular weapon for the Soviets. Um, Even some really old school guns like the PPSH, the STG, you could do a lot of those guns because of the Berlin. Because I think in this game, the game starts off right around the Berlin Wall's collapse, which is not too far from that whole era of old World War II weaponry. But and there's a lot of prototype weapons around this era. I think there's one or two Soviet guns I think that were in another COD game that are prototypes that they could use around this era. But um, I wouldn't mind seeing some old Call of Duty guns brought back too. Maybe like the Peacekeeper would be really sick, or the AN-94, um,
Yep.
or the maybe like bring some modern guns back like the Kuda or the M8A7 from Black Ops 3. But I think it really just depends. I'm also wondering how many guns we're going to see in this game going forward because we only have 33 at launch, which is really low. You know, like I think it's the lowest ever in COD history for launch weapons. So I'm very wondering if we're going to get a shit ton of guns every season to kind of balance that. But I'm not sure. Um,
I kind of hope they add like I know pistols aren't like a huge thing, and I we already got four at the moment. I kind of hope they add like a Beretta or something. That's kind of around that 1980s, 1990, 1986 kind of area. Um, because every all the and that's like a 3 round burst gun. And once again, I haven't tried out all the guns. I know they have the Strider, which is a semi-auto. Um, uh, S4 and the 9mm, those are all semi-auto. The only one, Rakova, but that's full auto. And I feel like people get carried away with those. I want just like a 2 round or 3 round burst, kind of like the Renetti in Modern Warfare 3.
yeah, it's actually it's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking about that too. Was the Beretta? I'm wondering also what other types of pistols we're gonna get, like, because there's a lot of different things, and I think one pistol that everyone's been kind of asking, but I don't know if you really classify as a pistol. You could classify as an SMG as well. Was the COD 4 Scorpion? I don't know if you remember that. It has a little little wire stock. It has it's real small. It's a compact Scorpion. Because in Modern Warfare 3 we have the Scorpion Evo, I forget what I think the one I'm thinking of is just in real life is just called the Scorpion. But it's an old like I think it's either a Soviet era weapon or it's a Iraqi Gulf War era weapon that the Saddam Hussein troops used a lot. I think a lot of the Taliban nowadays use it. But other than that, I don't know what other machine gun pistols they could add. I'm assuming they're gonna add some machine gun pistols in this game, because the last couple of years we've gotten machine gun pistols a lot. So, and I mean, pistols in general in this game need help. They need some Jesus in this
They
game.
do, yes.
They're
They need
awful.
some Jesus.
Like I don't know who is deciding what's happening with pistols, but they need to be fired or talking to or beaten up in the closet when their mom's not looking or something. Um, like that G, what is it called? The G, whatever the what the fuck was it? Fuck it's called? Hang on, let me look before I spaz out.
GS45.
Yeah, the GS45. That pistol makes me want to rip my hair out and scream until someone comes and rescues me from my hell. Um, like it's just I don't know. I mean, like I don't like to think that I know how game design works because I don't. But like at the same time, it's like I've been a gamer for over 16 years. I just want to know how you playtest something and think this is okay. I just I can play with your gun for 30 seconds and tell you whether or not it needs buffed or nerfed. Like it can't be that difficult, in my opinion, to
Right.
figure it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And they seem to surprise me every year on how dumb they truly are when it comes to these type of things.
I don't know. I kind of almost feel like they want it to kind of be. They want to have their good guns, right? And I feel like they really want to push a few guns out the door and kind of debuff the shit out of other guns. That we use those newer, improved guns that they kind of want to show off, especially with when you buy like the Vault Edition and you get those guns. I feel like they kind of want to show off those guns, and then later on they'll start buffing or debuffing those good guns to, and then kind of even everything out, you know, until another gun drops and then that becomes god tier.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what you said is pretty much spot on to how it's been in COD for the last couple of years, where it's just like straight. And it's funny too because it's only been since 2019. If you look back at games like pre 2019, yeah, we've always had overpowered guns, but the thing is like those guns have always been the dominant guns throughout the life cycle. They don't adjust the like for example, World War II, the PPSH was dominant for like 90% of its life cycle. And it still is to this day one of the most dominant SMGs in World War II. And it was like that the entire life cycle. It had, I think, one time it was updated, it was nerfed a little bit, and then they buffed it immediately afterwards. Um, like Call of Duty used to be like you have one or two overpowered guns, and the rest of the guns were on the same skill level. And that's kind of like I feel like how it should be. I don't feel like you should have all guns to say the same skill level because it makes all the guns feel bland. But like the last like year and a half, it's been like for example like Modern Warfare 3, we've had such a handful of guns that have been dominant that have been so dominant that it's unusable to use anything else. Right? Like if you're not using a static
Right.
or an ACR, you're cooked. And I feel like this game's gonna fall down the same path. Although right now I will give credit where credit is due. Everything does feel semi-balanced, but at the same time I haven't really played enough of multiplayer to feel like to have a very good understanding of this game's system at the moment. Um, I know a lot of people were hyped for the SVAL being in this game, but I've seen the guy who was first in the world, shouts out to Skullface, who got first in the world Dark Matter. I think it was him anyway. It might have been another person. It was either him or Reed Boy had mentioned that the SVAL is complete trash in multiplayer right now. And so it's kind of surprising that a gun that everyone was extremely. I think it's probably the most hyped gun of this entire game was probably the SVAL. Seeing that being not an A tier weapon is honestly shocking, but it is kind of on the MO for the last couple of years. I think all of the guns that have been at the level 55 for the last 3 or 4 CODs have been pretty bad. They have something against the final gun for some odd reason. And it seems like the earlier the gun you unlock it, the better it's going to be long term. That seems to be the recurring pattern. I have a feeling the XM4 is going to be a pretty dominant weapon for majority of this game's life cycle. but we'll have to just wait and see and see how this game plays.
What? What is it?
What is what?
What do you think of the SWAT 556? Because I've seen a few people using it with that 3-round burst. If you get those headshots, you can just demolish somebody. But
You
what are
didn't
your
play.
thoughts on
You
that
didn't
gun?
play BO4, did you?
I did not play. Well, no, I didn't. I'm not gonna say I
Okay,
did.
so
I did a little bit,
BO4
but
had
like
this.
the game was pretty much dead.
BO4 had the SWAT. That's where this SWAT originated. Was from BO4. And the interesting about this thing about the SWAT is BO4 had the SWAT. It was a full auto assault rifle, and it was really mid tier at best. Like, it wasn't an insane AR, but it wasn't like nowhere near as bad as whatever. This game has taken the SWAT and turned it into a burst rifle, which is interesting choices on their part. But this game has a lot of weird choices. I mean, look at the Goblin. The Goblin's a semi-automatic assault rifle. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Right.
But I think the biggest thing for me with the SWAT um, is so I haven't used it since the beta. The beta version of it was good once you have attachments. And that's how I feel like the SWAT's going to be for this game as well for the full launch. Is it's going to be one of those guns where once you get a good build with it, I think it's going to be devastating at longer ranges and medium ranges.
Because
Um,
I know you get a blueprint for it uh, during your level up called the Watch and Learn, which significantly increases the firepower and accuracy on that. But yeah, I'll just have we'll have to kind of look at that one a little bit because I knew it was kind of brutal uh, to get hit by in the beta. I didn't see a lot of people using it, but if you're able to get your headshots on that, you just decimate people.
yeah,
Um,
I agree 100%. Well, the marksmans in general are going to be interesting this year to keep an eye on because we don't have battle rifles this year, unlike the last couple of years. So we lost a whole category of weapons, and now they have added. I think they just want to focus on marksmans. Um, and we have the other burst gun too, the AEK at 973, which is supposed to be like a. I think it's supposed to be a version of the AN94, but this one's a version is a three on burst version, and I feel like that's going to be very very interesting this year. Probably will be my favorite marksman rifle in general. I think especially once you get a good build with it, I think that's going to be devastating. Um, the DM10 and the Tarsov, I don't know about those two. Those two maybe hit or miss, but I think the SWAT and the AEK maybe dominant. Again, it's going to be hard to judge until we actually get in and we start, building these builds and kind of understanding the stats as well. Because
right.
obviously, if you get an amazing stat build on these things, it can go from a trash gun to a phenomenal gun very quickly. But that's just my opinion on it. I mean, I'm sure someone out there who has dark matter already is probably gonna be like, "Well, bro, actually, actually, the SWAT is like the best gun in the game, all right, buddy." But I don't know. I'm not. I don't have dark matter. I have a life, so
All right, we touched grass.
I have a life. But here we're coming up on the 35-minute mark, and I don't want to keep us all night because I know we have streams planned. So we'll get ready to close it out here. Anything closing wise you have to say?
I feel like I just have one more thing I really hope that they kind of work on in multiplayer that I saw that could be a huge game changer if they fix it. And that would be the spawns, especially in those smaller maps. I feel like I'm constantly having someone spawn directly behind me for no reason. Uh, and I don't know if that's just like a straight up Black Ops things where they have really bad spawns, but I feel like he can't be like touching me when you spawn in because like that instantly gives them the upper hand and their gun's already at my back. So I feel like that needs to be fixed a little bit.
I'm 100% agree. Now, as much as I'm very upfront about how much I don't like Treyarch and how they decide things. I'm not a fan of their multiplayer experiences, but I will say it is not entirely their fault that the spawns are bad in this game. That has been the MO for Call of Duty in general for since 2019, pretty much since the whole fast movements, like cycling thing that became a thing. Um, and I think one unfortunate part of that is the fact that this game has all small maps so far. Like I don't think there's really any large maps. All of them are like Nuketown size, shipment size maps. And unfortunately, that is the negative effect of that. Having a bunch of small maps means your spawns are gonna be mostly trash for the most part. I mean, like, when was the last time you played Shipment and was like, these are great spawns? Like, never.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like you
Yep.
never say that. You're the whole reason you're playing Shipment is because the spawns are bad and you want the rapid headshots or the
Try to get
rapid
those
doubles
extra
or whatever.
kills. Yeah.
And so I personally don't like many of the maps in BO6, but again, I think it's unfair for me to judge the game yet, just simply because I haven't really put all that many matches in through the ringer. I think because like Modern Warfare 3, I hit a majority of the maps in Modern Warfare 3 at launch. But as I put thousands of hours into that game, the maps began to kind of like not bother me at all, really. And so I'm very excited to see where the maps going forward are. But that's a great point. I definitely think the spawns are leaving a lot to be desired. But Nuketown's coming out, I think, next week. So we'll have to
Yeah,
wait
we
and
got to be
see.
ready for that.
Yeah, that's going to be hell on earth. But, having Nuketown's always a good thing because Nuketown's a fun map to play.
Yeah, they're bringing it back.
But all right, man. Well, it's been an honor having you on here. I'm hoping we'll have you on here again soon. Again, anyone wants to go check him out, it's SirHamsAlots on Twitch. I think, do you have a YouTube yet or no?
I do, but I haven't used it in a few years. I'll eventually get that up and running. But right now it's just the Twitch.
Oh, you guys heard it here first. He's gonna get his YouTube up and running for the next couple of weeks. Um, so make sure you guys go sub to him, follow him. Sub to him on Twitch if y'all are feeling, generous. And I'll make sure I have his links all down below as well. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Next Sunday's episode, I think we're gonna go over maybe something a little more touchy, maybe like religion or politics or something. Because I really just want to rip the Band-Aid off and get into some deep theological discussions, because I feel like those are the most interesting podcast topics. But that being said, I love you guys. You're awesome, and I will see you guys in the next episode of the Hot Zone. Thank you again, Sir Hams, a lot, and I see you guys in the next one.